pasture management is one of the most important things that I, or really anybody raising animals on grass, does on a daily basis. I've only got a limited number of acres here, and I need to make sure that I stretch that as far as I can. That means making sure that the cows are doing their part, but also that I'm doing what I need to do to keep things on track. That's what we're talking about today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. The cow's role in this process is really quite simple, and that is they just need to go where I put them and eat what's there. That means that I need to do frequent pasture moves and get these cows moving across the acres in a really organized, intensified way. This only allows the cows access to individual plants for a day or two, and I think that is really helping with this goal of trying to minimize overgrazing and also giving each individual plant the maximum amount of time to recover. Now, if you guys couldn't tell, they're actually being quiet now, but all the bawling in the background only means one thing, and that is that it is time to go into a new pasture. So let's get these cows moved, and let me show you sort of the other side of this coin. This pasture that the cows just moved out of is about 1.5 to 2 acres, and they were here for approximately 24 hours. The pasture that they moved into is about the same size, and they'll be out there for about the same time. Now, if we look down here close at the ground, you can see that they have really grazed this down low, and I definitely would not want to leave them out here for longer than 24 hours. Well, I should say that they have grazed the Dallas grass, which is the stuff that they like, and the clover down very low, but there is a particular species of grass out here that they don't seem to want to touch. Now, I can't tell you what this grass is called, but what I can tell you is that the cows just will not touch it as it sits in the ground there. It must be bitter or something. I'm not really sure what the reason is, but they want nothing to do with it. Now, fortunately, there is a solution to this that's not as messy as applying herbicides or as frustrating as owning goats, and that is to just get a mower out here and cut this grass off. Mowing the grass out here in the pasture is going to accomplish a couple of things. First of all, by cutting it off and letting it sit out here in the sun, you're essentially creating hay. And in that process, you're taking away the bitter taste that's associated with it. Now, I'm not sure what the science is behind it of how that all happens, but what I do know is that the cows got no problem eating the grass when it looks like this instead of like this. The other thing that mowing does is, since it's knocking that tall grass down, it then gives the Dallas grass a fighting chance of growing up ahead of it and hopefully suppressing it for the rest of the year. not quite finished yet, but man, it is so hot out here right now that I think I'm gonna be a lot smarter if I come back this evening when it cools down a little bit and try to get this finished up. I'm cutting the grass pretty short, but I don't think that's gonna be a big deal because the cows were just in here yesterday and they've already got it eaten down pretty short. So as soon as I get done mowing, I'm gonna irrigate all this, and this ground is gonna have about 2 weeks to recover before it sees cows again. I remember when I was a little kid, my grandpa always used to tell me that clipping pasture like this sort of stimulates the growth, and you know, it sure seems to be true, although I can't figure out why that would be, why it would be any different than a cow just eating it. But for whatever reason, that does seem to be true. So in about 2 weeks, we'll come back out here and kind of see how this has recovered and how things look. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.